9 is my favorite. Hey kids, welcome back to the channel. I'm Uncle Frank, and I'm hoping that you are having a great day. In today's video, I'd like to sit back, relax, and have a chat with you guys about the recently, not announced, but I suppose teased, upcoming Final Fantasy Universes Beyond Magic the Gathering set, which is quite the mouthful, I have to say. And as with all Universes Beyond sets, I have to say that I have two opinions in regards to this set. There is my opinion as a fan of Magic the Gathering, and then there is my opinion as a store, one who tries to buy and sell cards and make a profit doing so. For those of you who don't know, my opinion as a fan of the game is I absolutely abhor Universes Beyond in pretty much any fashion. I dislike diluting Magic's identity with outside intellectual properties. I am not a fan of the rather predatory way Wizards of the Coast releases and prices some of these Universes Beyond sets. And I'm not, overall, a fan of the power level we've seen in a lot of them from a game standpoint. So, as a whole, I'm rather negative towards them as a Magic fan. However, that's not the only stance I have to look at sets like this from. I have to look at them from a purely financial standpoint, a purely neutral standpoint. You see, as someone who would like to make money selling cards, it's important for me to, it's important for me and for people like me to understand that sets like this can be extremely lucrative. We've already seen examples of successful and unsuccessful Universes Beyond sets. The initial release of the Lord of the Rings set was insanely well received. According to Wizards of the Coast, it's the most sold Magic the Gathering set of all time, and I'm inclined to believe them. Likewise, because of the rather poor choice of boxes used for it, the Assassin's Creed Universes Beyond set did not sell that well. It doesn't help that Assassin's Creed as a franchise is in the toilet right now, but I digress. We already know that Lord of the Rings Universes Beyond was extremely successful, and that its collector's edition boxes were even more so. I'm here today to say that I personally believe that the Final Fantasy set is going to blow Lord of the Rings out of the water. It's going to absolutely outperform anything seen. Very loud truck just there. It's going to outperform any Magic the Gathering set. If anything I've seen from both Magic fans, oh, that's Vivi. I love that guy. It's going to outperform because of Magic fans, but also because of Final Fantasy fans. You see, when it comes to Final Fantasy, there's a lot you have to know. You see, for as popular as Magic the Gathering is, and for as popular as Lord of the Rings has been over the last few decades, I do not believe that any of them shake a stick to Final Fantasy. Final Fantasy is a ridiculously popular franchise. It spans, another loud truck, dozens of games, some movies. I think there was an anime at one point, if I recall correctly. And it has some of the most rabid fans who will spend ludicrous levels of money on anything they can get their hands on, really. I've seen some people spend really crazy amounts of cash on Final Fantasy collectibles, figures, a shirt one time. That was fun. That could be a story for a video one day. My point is, Final Fantasy, I believe, is an insanely popular franchise that rivals some of the biggest IPs on the planet. I'm not entirely sure when I say that it's going to outperform Lord of the Rings, but I am very confident. Not 100% confident, mind you, but I do believe if I was a betting man, I'd put money on it, basically, is what I'm trying to say. Which brings us to the announcements for the products, the hype for those products, and the sellouts we've already seen on Amazon. As of the recording of this video, full sets of the normal Commander decks are unavailable. Full sets of the Collector's Commander decks for the set are unavailable. No collector boosters, to my knowledge, can be found anywhere for MSRP. And the Cloud Strife normal Commander deck is also completely sold out on places like Amazon. So we're already seeing some serious hype, and it's third loud truck in 15 minutes. We're seeing some serious hype surrounding this set, and it's really crazy how quickly people forget that, yes, this set is going to be really good from a collector's, investors, all that kind of stance, but this set is not like Lord of the Rings in one special way. The Lord of the Rings set was only modern legal. It was printed directly into modern. For Wizards of the Coast, that meant that they were okay with giving it a premium price tag, okay? The Final Fantasy set, meanwhile, is a standard legal set, or at least it is as so far as I'm aware. I'm pretty sure Wizards announced that all Universes Beyond sets going forward were going to be standard legal, which means Final Fantasy is going to be around for a long time. Maybe not the collector boosters. I don't think we've seen second or third waves of collector booster boxes for any set for a while now. But I do believe that more waves of the premium Commander decks are on the way. After all, it happened several times with Warhammer 40k. I don't think any of the other products, the bundles, the play boosters, I don't think that those are going to become unavailable anytime soon. Which is important because I'm seeing a lot of people online freaking out, going and buying just even the play booster boxes for some insane amounts. As of the recording of this video, the play booster boxes are still available on Amazon.com for about $200, $209, a little over that with tax. But I'm already seeing people selling and buying these for $300 or more on eBay and other sites like eBay. And I have to stress, as long as the product is still available at the MSRP, price range, I really need to stress that you should not be buying it for $300. You should not be in such a fervor to try to lock that in and overpay for something when we don't even know what the release is going to look like. Set's not coming out till June. There's no reason to overpay on the play boosters, especially when you look at the history of the play boosters so far, in that not even the Lord of the Rings one, not even the play boosters for Lord of the Rings have really become unavailable, even now, over a year after initial release. The collector boosters certainly have become very scarce and very expensive. And if you have the opportunity to acquire some collector booster boxes for Final Fantasy for anything close to MSRP, and you have that money, I believe it would be a good idea to grab them if you have the opportunity to do so, because I do firmly believe that this will be a very successful set. Now, of course, all that said, we could get a absolute stellar right hook from Wizards of the Coast, where right after the set releases, they dump an entire second, third, fourth, fifth wave of collector boosters on the market and absolutely rug pull everyone. I don't think that's going to happen, but it is a possibility, I have to say. Huge asterisk in front of the get collector boosters if you can statement. Part of the reason of that is not only do I believe that Final Fantasy is a very popular set with some really crazy money being thrown at it, but it also sees the return of the serialized cards, and in case you guys aren't aware, sometimes those go for a lot of money. And for characters like Cloud Strife, Vincent Valentine, Sephiroth, Kefka, my boy Vivi, I had to check quick, I didn't know if he was on screen or not. For very popular characters in Final Fantasy, I bet if there's a Tifa serialized card, that one's going to be priced. Oh! There's Vivi. Excellent. We're good. Vivi count up to 2 at least. Love that guy. Serialized cards are going to perform very well. I believe the set overall is going to perform very well, but I do not believe that the non-collector products for the set are going to become scarce anytime soon. So that really is all I'm trying to say in this video. If you are somebody who is anxious about not being able to get any Final Fantasy cards to play with, do not worry. This set will be standard legal, and Wizards has a 3-year standard rotation for some reason, so it's going to be available for a while, I believe. And I don't believe the collector boosters are going to be reprinted, but I also don't believe that you should be parking money in collector boosters when they're maybe not so overhyped is not the word, but if you only have so much money and you have the option between purchasing something that is at MSRP versus something that is, before release even happens, well above it, carefully consider your options is all I'm trying to say. I already know how I'm going to be approaching the situation. If I can get 1 or 2 collector booster boxes for a reasonable price, I'm going to try to do so, because I do believe that we are going to see with Final Fantasy what we saw with Lord of the Rings collector boosters. And I believe within a year of release, anybody who has a sealed collector box is going to be very happy. I'm also going to try to get at least 1, maybe 2, full sets of the Commander decks, because I do believe that Commander is still going to do well as the most played format in the game, and that Final Fantasy fans are going to want those decks for a long time. Just my opinion there as well. If I can get the collector versions of the decks, better for it, but I'm not going to stress. Am I going to buy play boosters? They're sitting at about $200, so yeah, probably. Might buy 1 or 2. But they are definitely they're not high on my priority list. Let's just say that. My focus right now is on more recent releases. Some Yu-Gi-Oh sets that have come out or will come out in the near future. Some Weiss sets that I'm looking forward to. And of course, Final Fantasy isn't the only set coming out in June. I'm very excited for the Flesh and Blood set coming out that month, because it's the big pirate set, so I'm looking forward to that. And that might be where my money goes, because after all, if I can only afford one of 2 things, a case of the new Flesh and Blood set or 1 box of a Final Fantasy set, I'm going to go for the case every single time, It's just how I choose to spend my money. But anyway, that's all I really want to talk about today. I do believe that the Final Fantasy set will be very successful. I do believe that the people who managed to acquire collector boxes for a reasonable price are going to be very happy. But I also need to stress that I don't think that this set is going to, and in any real way, be unavailable to the average player, because, again, standard legal, I don't believe Wizards is going to want a set legal and standard that the average player just can't play at all. So I do believe that play booster boxes are going to be relatively available for the foreseeable future. Anywho, it really is all I've got. So if you liked this video, let me know by leaving a comment, posting a like. I said that out over. Leaving a like, posting a comment. There we go. Subscribing to the channel, hitting the notification bell, sharing the video with a friend, all that good stuff. And remember, your uncle needs to get healthy. So for every one like this video gets, I'll be doing a push-up in the next one. I'll see you kids then. Ciao. My last video got Final Fantasy 15 likes. That's 15.